We live.
All right.
It's been doing so much buffering lately, so we'll see how
Probably
it goes tonight.
restart the tablet. If it, check out, go ahead and jump on the thing, and let's make sure if we're not freezing a bunch when people start jumping on. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So, are we on our YouTube here? It's not showing, or on our TikTok. It's not showing that we're even on. One person just joined in. Natalie.
First and only.
First in. This is weird. I don't think it's showing up that we're even live.
Yeah, did it show up that we're live?
First.
Yeah. What the heck is going on?
Natalie Styles. This show is just for Natalie.
Only for Natalie. Well, we're going to find out if I go to here. Yeah, no, it is.
All right, officially. All right, so welcome to Natalie Styles' show. We're going to literally do an episode only for Natalie. This is your show. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're going to bring you on, and it's just going to be just you and us.
Yeah, it's been super weird in every aspect lately. Even when we're posting, it's different. Yeah. I'm like, hello, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Well, you have us all to yourself here, Natalie.
Natalie, for real.
Yeah.
You're first. Let's hang out with you for a little bit. Put in anything you want. We are going to dedicate the first part of this entire live to you. Happily. I happily dedicate whatever questions you have, whatever things you want to do. It's all you. Whatever you want, go ahead and start it off. This is our way to appreciate you for being first.
Yeah.
And
this is so weird.
Yeah. Usually whenever we go live, like hundreds of people jump on. So what is happening? I don't know. So Natalie, fire off your questions. How can we serve you? How can we serve you, Natalie? I'm excited to see what we can do for her.
Yeah.
So baby, look at this. Maybe I can move over a little bit here. See how your face is cut off? Can you slide over a little bit so I can get you on your pretty face on the screen?
Hey. All right.
Yeah. Much better.
So please feel free to share the live too. We don't know why. We don't have hardly anyone jumping on. But anyway, it is Natalie's time.
Natalie's time.
She already has a question. So Natalie's asking, how do you handle working with your partner in a business and having a personal relationship?
I would say it's very tricky. Here's something I've noticed. Natalie, confirm that you've seen the pattern too. Here's where I'm at from my psychologist, sociology point of view. Women are new to being able to kind of just run stuff. Throughout all of human history, I would say, as far as like how the whole feminist movements and things like this, women had to fight for the rights to be able to have like equal opportunity. Not arguing seems correct. So now women, since our generation, our mom's generation was like the first ones to even have a chance to be able to run businesses, be doctors, start their companies, run stuff. And so women, what I've noticed is when they're coming in and competing in what would be, it's a man's world. Like it's a man's world. So they're coming in hard. And you do this, and I've seen other women do this, where you almost have a work personality. It's almost like an alter ego. It's a different person than who you are at home. And this makes it very difficult because guys don't have to adapt as much of a big change. And so he can still be the same him. I'm still the same me when we're hanging out as I am when I'm working and when I'm doing this. Still the same me. But when she's in work mode, different human. It's a different mindset, different work mode, different focus, different strategies, different listening, different everything. Mm-hmm. And that makes it difficult to be able to discern who she is when she's not in work mode and then who she is in work mode. And this is a big adaptation thing that I believe is because women in our generation right now are kind of paving the road on how to be able to find the balance between the two, because there's not really a lot of role models for women to go, of course, we've always been in charge, so this is just how women do it. You guys are kind of the trendsetters as far as how is it going to be done. And it's kind of up in the air at the moment because some women are abusing authority in terrible, terrible ways.
Yeah.
And some women are doing really well, but finding there's a lot of limitations they're running into even with their own goals and their own things. So it's becoming more and more difficult for couples to work together because women almost always have to have work mode, which is not the person that you know and or love, and can be a little freaking harsh. Her work mode and I don't get along very well because
unless I'm doing things working for him, then it's fine. But I think when he says my work mode, when I have a lot going on and my job can be very stressful, when I have a lot going on, and you may know this, Natalie, like you have so many like balls in the air and you're trying to juggle everything, and then someone throws one thing else at you. It's being able to find that balance where sometimes that's I think when you say I'm harsh, it can be a little harsh, because when I'm at work and I work with people all day long and I'm a leader in the role that I'm in, it's very similar to being a mom. Sometimes I'm still very nurturing. I'm still very kind when I'm at work. When I get a little stress, sometimes you take it on people that are closest to you.
But it's tough for us because men have always had to work for men or always been in those positions, so we don't have to change modes that much. We still may have a focus mode or I'm in the zone. Like that's still like how all people work. But we don't have to shift through personality types. And that's something where I've seen women have been adapting to do in order to compete, in order to come in and go, I got to be in an alpha fight mode in order to make sure that I'm maintaining order or to show like a different sort of leadership. But I think that you guys will find as you keep going along, and women who have figured it out, you don't have to go to such extremes. Well, maybe American women, maybe.
Yeah, I don't
You may not like my words, babe, but I think that if I had to switch into a different mode, that you would probably find it a little frustrating.
Maybe, but I think it's naturally there has to be a difference for women when, at least this is my opinion, going from work mode to mom mode, because you can't also go to work and you can be nurturing, and I think that's a part of at least the leader I am. When I go to work, I lead people, but I also lead with my heart too. And you have to have that balance where I'm not naturally a very stern and hard person. I'm not. And I think most of the time my team is able to see that. I'm not super hard. I have boundaries and I have expectations. But me, naturally, I'm not that person. I think you see it is typically when I get stressed out, which is going back to your question, Natalie, is how do you balance it with your partner when you're in business together? So I would say my advice would be to make sure that something that I think has worked for us, making sure we own our parts of our own business, parts of the business, right? So he's the creative one. He's the coach, right? I like the back end stuff, making sure taxes are done, stuff like that. So each person having their role really helps, because if not, I know my personality is to easily try to take over, but also not have the time because I also have another job. So it's being able to separate who's in charge of what, and then coming together to recap. I don't know if that's helpful or not.
Maybe a little. I know that it's tough. It's tough because I know that you have a different situation because you have another job.
Yeah.
And so that's a little different. I agree with the part where you take your part, I take my part. So as far as the couples go, I agree completely. You take your part, I got my part. It's just harder when the other person goes, I think you should be doing your part this way. And you go, which part's your part? You do your job, I do my job. So I think that part is helpful. I think as far as the guy point of view to it, and this is just, maybe something to consider for your man, it's really difficult for us to adapt to the switch. Because we don't have to do as much of a work mode, not mother mode. We don't have to. My dad mode is very similar to my work mode.
Right.
And so when I'm working with my guys or I'm working with our girls, I don't really do a lot of change. It's really the same approach, the same strategies, the same kindness, the same Empathy, it's the same. I don't change that much throughout the day. It's really similar. And that makes it easier because I'm going to be level the whole time. Mm-hmm. But I know that her focused mode is difficult for me to communicate with, but her not in work mode, we can talk all day. And that's a weird balance to try to adjust to for the guy, because it's hard to be able to go, which work mode am I talking to here? Mom mode, we can go. Like, we're good. We can talk. When we're just us mode, no problems. That's what made us fall in love. But work mode, her and I have clashed more than any other version of her. And that's hard for me to adapt to. Because I'm like, which mode are you in? Because I'm not even messing with that one today. That's just my point of view on it, where I have to know this one's going to be a little bit more aggressive or combative than the other modes will be. What's your opinion, babe?
No, I think I already said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I don't, yeah.
Rick, do you think the issue is that men think their work is more important? I don't believe that. I don't think I think we both have a different job. So it's not that any one is more important than the other. They're both important. So I don't think that, like, I don't ever go like, I'm more important than what you do. Like, she does her thing. Her thing is important because it's her thing. I do my thing, and my thing is important because it's my thing. Neither is more important than the other, though, because they all work together. So I don't believe that, but I believe there are people who probably do believe that, mm-hmm. but I haven't found that to be a benefit, putting more value in one over the other.
So I've had, TC, I hear what you're saying, like, your question is fair. I have known quite a few men that do believe that, or especially in the line of work I do, it has been misconstrued and kind of put down as like, oh, that's all that you do. You do this, but they don't really understand what it is that you do. I'm not talking about you. You don't do this.
That's fair.
But a lot of guys do, like, just because they don't understand it, nor are they asking sometimes. And that goes both ways. You know, everyone's load is always the heaviest, right? So when you're in a relationship and both people are working and one of them's stressed out, it's easy to say, like, well, you don't understand, but we're also not asking. Or you're overwhelmed, but so am I. Right? Mm-hmm. So it's that back and forth of, like, who is the busiest and who is the most stressed, and it's not a competition.
Mine's more important than yours is. You just do this, and I do real work.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it's beneficial to belittle your partner.
I don't think so either.
It doesn't seem to be a good strategy, especially since, like, what she does creates benefits for our dynamic, and what I do creates benefits for our dynamic. And what I mean by dynamic is how our family works. We both provide a degree of safety and security for the entire family, and that makes us a strong team. And I don't try to hold her back from it. I fully respect the type of woman she is, and that makes us work better. So I don't have any type of insecurity or anything to make me go like, I need to be the one who does everything. Like, you have a lot of skills and benefits, so go ahead and kick ass with them. I love that about you.
That's what I love about you too, because you support me having a career, because my career is, so when we've talked about this a lot, we talked about this the last live. For me, my career is one of my top priorities. Just, I mean, there's reasons for that, but I have to continue to work. Like, that's just something that I will continue to do, because I always have to be able to put myself in a position where I know that I can provide for myself without relying on a guy, just because I haven't been able to.
Which is fine for me.
Yeah.
Fine for me. There's a couple questions in here. Let's see.
Yeah, it is
it's
a team effort.
Yeah. Share equal things around the home.
Yes.
I think that the around the home thing is such an interesting argument, because I see the comparisons are being so odd. I feel like people really add in a lot of expectations over what they think the other should be doing without agreements or conversations. So people just go in and go, like, you just don't do enough around the house. And you're like, I just got home after a 90-hour work week. Like, what have you been doing? Well, that's none of your I take care of the kids. I shouldn't have to do the dishes, too. And you're like, I just worked 90 hours. And so this turns into, and this is where my question, and this is it White Milk? Is that what it says? White Mike 007. Okay. It's far away from me. So As far as there's a question that comes down to, and I've got a couple guys in the group who are really struggling because they treat their woman like a queen. They take care of everything for her. And then now they're getting into whatever it is that makes her feel like everything needs to be equal. And I'm just going to put it out there for you ladies to really soak in. I don't have one man in all of my groups. We've got a lot of guys. I don't have any men who have ever argued against equality. I know somebody like, yeah, right, guys always want blah, blah, blah. No, if you really think about what's equality, no men, I have 0 men who have said if it was all equal court systems, equal everything, we both go Dutch on all the meals, you think that we're against equal pay? Hey, we'll work all the hours. You get exactly the same hour that we do. We don't care. We're good to go. Will you put in the hours? That's no big deal. As far as like arguments go, it's just person A, person B. It's no longer male, female.
I don't want that.
As far as housework, we just split it right down the middle.
Ladies,
when it comes to shoveling the snow, it's going to be good having a second shovel. When it comes to working on the roof or working on the car, we would love backup. You think I'm afraid of mopping floors? Let's go. You know, if I can get backup on some of the heavy lifting around this place and working on the stuff that you hate, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm not signing up for that. I don't want it to be equal.
Hey, listen, drafts equal. We got all the firefighting, police stuff, 100% equal. Bricklaying equal. Window washing outside equal. You think that we're anti-equal? Just even going Dutch on everything is going to be fantastic. 50-50 bills, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, no guys have been like equal court system. It's just person A, person B, what's best for the kids. No guys are against this. Just saying, as far as things being equal, guys are pretty cool with that idea. Seems like a good idea. So when it comes down to splitting everything down the middle, and like he's worked 90 hours and you worked 40 hours, but you're doing more housework than him, equal would be you got 50 hours to make up to match his commitment to the family. So sounds like you got housework.
Yeah.
50-50, right down the middle. He's putting in an extra work week than you, so you got to catch up somewhere else. That's equal. This is where it would be a little bit less fun for everybody.
Yeah. White Mike says, if a stay-at-home mom is doing all the housework, I believe the man should still step up sometimes. It depends on, agreements that you guys have. It also depends on how young the kids are, too, because if the kids are both in middle school, I don't know if that's the same.
You're not working the middle of the day. Let's get serious here. You got a good 6-7 hours if you ain't doing nothing. So between naps, you can go ahead and maybe clean the kitchen a little. Just saying.
But when the kids are little, I think it is more of a team with the mom staying home and the dad's out working, depending on the job. And there's many variables there, but it just has to have the agreements. Yeah.
Interesting that you said this. You read that if somebody truly loves somebody, you don't need boundaries because boundaries are selfish.
Oh.
I would really like to challenge this, Katrina.
I would too.
The reason why is because have you ever had anybody do something that you would consider a betrayal to your boundaries? Somebody who's been disloyal or lied or done something that goes against your standards or your morals? Have you ever had anybody do this and said, it's okay, you can cheat on me or do whatever because we love each other. My boundaries are not important. I need you to over-sacrifice. In fact, I want you to give me everything that you have, and I'm going to reciprocate very little back because we love each other. I think that boundaries, healthy boundaries, are truly healthy to the relationship. You have to have a line for where your standards are for what it is that you will and won't accept for yourself. But then also you have to have some sort of lines to make it so if someone's going to take advantage of you or do things that don't work in like what you're willing to give or sacrifice, you have to have your own boundaries to go like, this is unhealthy if I were to do it your way. It's not selfish to make sure that you have a healthy line to make sure you're not overcommitting yourself to things that hurt you. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's very healthy.
Yeah.
Let's see. They said that if we protect our fruits, then we aren't loving like God calls us to. That's a judgment, and God doesn't operate that way. I agree with what you're saying. I was confused when I heard this. Here's what you want, Katrina. You want to know what really changes my opinion? I believe that the instructions start, like in the Bible, start reading from Matthew even to John. Just read what Jesus was actually saying. Because when people start telling you how God is telling you you need to be, it is not the way Jesus, he didn't talk this way. I would say read how Big Guns himself actually was speaking, because it's very different than people's opinions and people's judgments and people's shaming and people's like guilt control of other people, because Jesus didn't operate in a way that says if you do this, God hates you, or God is going to be mad at you, or he's calling you to do it this way, so that's how I think you should do it. Read the instructions. It starts at Matthew, and just read what Jesus actually says. It's not like the movies, it's not like TV, and it's not like everybody else explains it. Read what he actually says and then make your opinions for yourself, because when you're reading it exactly the way it's meant to be read, it's going to resonate different than somebody judging you into submission, because that's not authentic. Figure out your version of yourself and make it a little more healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think that boundaries are very, very useful and very healthy. And this makes it so you guys will have way less arguments, because you won't run into any type of injustice, especially using God as a weapon to use you or do things that are against your values. I don't agree with anything in that realm. God doesn't do that. Doesn't work that way.
Okay. My partner has as a man, I can't. Don't need help.
My partner has a men.
Don't need help with their problems.
Attitude.
How can I help them open up? So.
It's fair. I work with men, and I have to break through that boundary every day. It's true. We're taught as a society that guys have to do it on their own. Also, because of the vulnerability factor, when we show ourselves as vulnerable, we are less desirable. I wish that wasn't the truth, but ladies, you trained us. Anytime we were young, whether we were teenagers into our 20s, anytime we were showing that our value isn't high, or we show vulnerability or oversensitivity or high sharing of way too much, like I'm ugly face crying or struggling to understand myself or what am I supposed to do, and we have these breakdown moments, we all get rejected. We don't get loved more. We don't get appreciated. We don't get praised. We don't get more sex. We get rejected. And we learn this from girls. They teach it to us. If I want to be able to open up and be able to show that I have to work on my problems, people just leave me. So why would we do that? Why would we have this concept that we have to go and have everybody help with our problems? Because anytime we've ever opened up our problems to people, we just get abandoned, or we get made fun of, or we get put down, or we get told to be a man and stop being a baby. We don't get empathy. As a man, I'll tell you right now, I grew up with almost no empathy from anybody. Just shut up and man up. Do your business. Handle your shit. Like, that's what we're told. Stop being a sissy. Like, damn. Like, no, this is actually a really difficult thing. No one's ever shown me how to deal with it. But women, as we grow up, mostly girls, women and girls are different. It's girls when we're younger also don't know how to gauge what values are in a guy that makes it work. And so it does a lot of harm for guys to create a defense mechanism or an armor that they keep up to feel like I have to handle it on my own, because anytime I talk to somebody, I'm just seen as weak and vulnerable, and then people just don't want me anymore. It's pretty tough. It's something that I have to work through with guys all the time to create an atmosphere where we can take our armor off and be authentic without blame, shame, and judgment. I'm not going to be rejecting anybody because I have guys cry with me almost every day. And there is no blame, shame, and judgment. There is no, you and I are breaking up. There is no, like, you're weak and pathetic. You're a human working through some real stuff. Yeah. And you're allowed to be that without me rejecting you or putting you down. And this is something that guys aren't taught to do. Yeah. It's not a muscle that we're allowed to even work out. And so it makes sense that he's got that mentality. It's the only one that served him. So it makes sense. Until he hits a rock bottom moment, or he hears something from me that we're talking, and he goes, I resonate with this guy, I'll talk to him. Until he has that moment or that breakthrough, he's going to have to do it on his own. That's the only thing that's ever worked.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that at least somehow answers the question. But also, it's not really fair for you to also change exactly how you're wired to be able to be empathetic to his needs. It's a purpose for the way that you're wired for safety and security that you can't see him overly weak. It will turn you off. And the same thing for guys. We have a hard time with you venting without us fixing it. We're not built for doing those things, just the way we are, which is why groups like I run, and then groups that women are in, being separated and being able to have a place where you guys can vent and we can sort things out and be vulnerable. It's useful so you guys can come together and be happy and strong and make each other better without expecting the other person to be able to do everything. It's just not fair.
Yeah. Banana Baby says, I'm afraid of doing too much for my girlfriend and being seen as a nice guy. Any advice?
It's fair. It's a very fair thing. What I would do, and here's my advice, Banana Baby, Banana Bobby, right? It's Banana Bobby. Here's my advice.
Oh, it is.
Pay attention if what she's asking is a request or just sharing. This is a very fun game for you to do because a lot of times women share and we are trying to fix things that are just shares. We don't need to fix things that are just shares. So if she's like, oh, it's cold in here, that's just a statement.
Yeah.
And you'll go, oh, let me turn the heat up, or let me get you a blanket, or let me get all the stuff for you, let me fix all the things. And she's like, no, I don't need you to do any of that. Ask her, hey, babe, if she says it's cold in here, he's like, well, do you need me to do anything, or are you good? She's like, no, I'm good. I can take care of it. And then she'll take care of it, and it goes no further. But if you start hopping to it and starting to fix things that aren't problems, it makes you look a lot weaker than you are, even though you're just trying to do happy wife, happy life, or just trying to make it so it's happy.
Yeah.
And that's not what she's asking for. So find out first if there's a request before you start to fix things, because you look far more attractive when you would help but don't need to because you look stronger. So if she's like, it's cold in here, and I'm like, do you need me to do anything, or are you good to go? And she's like, no, I'm good. I'm like, okay. Or I ask my girls all the time, I'm like, what do you need from me? Do you need anything, or how can I serve you? And they'll go, no, I don't need anything. And I say, consider it done. No problem. What do you need? You say, nothing. I'm good. Consider it done.
Yeah.
One nothing coming right up.
Yeah.
No problem. Happy to. So that's one good piece of advice I would say is check to see if it's just sharing or if there's a request involved. All right.
As a guy, when is it considered not giving up on someone when trying to make things work between them?
I think that's kind of your choice, Thomas. It's a subjective question. This means it's your opinion. When is it considered not giving up someone who's trying to make things work? My thing I would look for is willingness, though. Is the other person putting in the work to make it work? Thanks,
Chris.
Eric. Thanks, Eric. But is the other person putting in the work? If they have no willingness, you're wasting your time. Find somebody who will fight for you as hard as you'll fight for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Chris Miller, although when I hear nothing is wrong, I'm like, oh, this is a trap. What's wrong? Nothing. Oh. And you can just feel the tension. Yeah. Do I do that to you?
Yep.
No, I don't. I don't do that to you.
Okay.
I don't do that to you. Well, if I do, it's usually nothing. Here's how it usually goes. Something wrong? Nothing. Well, actually, that's I think usually how it goes, right?
Yeah, I can tell when there's something bothering you because you'd be like, nothing. And I'm like, okay.
I think I do too.
What is it that you need, babe? I don't need anything. I'm fine.
But it's sometimes
I'm like, all right. Well, if you
don't
want.
talk to you like that.
So if you want, I'll listen if you just want to talk. And I'll put it out there and then you'll go, I don't have anything to talk about. All right, listen, here's what it is. And then you'll go. You have a tone. Listen, babe, I've argued with you. You have a tone. I have a tone. You're watching it right now.
The funniest thing, let me tell you, yeah, for sure. I'm sure I do.
You do.
Now I do have a problem because I'm just kidding. So, giant drink, yeah. The funniest thing is, I can sit and look at him just like I was doing, and then what you'll do, he'll just start talking. It's like that uncomfortableness, and he'll just start going, and I'm like, I didn't even say anything, and you just keep guessing. I'll say, you will never guess. You will never guess it right. Do you like that?
I don't like it.
You love that.
I don't like it.
You told me that it's your favorite.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
It's your favorite, right?
My favorite. Yeah, no. Okay. Let's see. We got some other stuff on here. Let's see. Yeah, Chris Miller is one of my guys. Very smart too. He nailed it on one of our trainings. It was a very smart guy. Good call. Most of the time, people just want to feel heard and supported. That is correct, Amundo. You remember what it is to know if somebody is feeling heard or not heard?
What do you mean by that question?
What do people do when they don't feel heard?
What do they do?
Yeah. How can you tell somebody is not feeling like they're being heard?
Because they raise their tone.
That's one way. Remember the other way? You do the other way.
Yeah. Shut down.
Shut down.
You don't like that.
It's two ways that people handle it. Usually fight and flights fall in love with each other because opposites attract. And when people aren't being heard, there's going to be the fighter starts getting louder. Why aren't you listening to me?
Yep.
And the person who's usually flight will get to a point and then they'll shut down. Now, the thing with retreating or distancing or shutting down is eventually you get backed into a corner. And then it's just fight, fight, fight. And that's when even the people who are fights and flights, even the flights turn into full-out screaming match. Both people are screaming because nobody is listening. If you start recognizing that somebody starts like getting louder or shutting down, that's the indicator to slow down and listen.
Yep.
Now this is where your ego's not your amigo.
That's true.
Well, you listen, I'm going first. If you catch it.
Well, you're not listening to me.
You be first. You be first. Go ahead and say, you know what? I'll listen.
Yes.
I'll listen.
You go right ahead. Yeah.
You go.
Yep. It's catching it in those moments where it is heated to take the emotions out of it and then just let it calm down just a moment. Yeah.
I want to be with my GF all the time and do everything she's doing, and she thinks I'm being controlling. I think controlling might not be the right word because it doesn't seem like you're trying to tell her what to do. You're just trying to be maybe a little bit too overzealously or maybe even clingy at that point. I don't know what the time frame is, but if you want to be with her all the time, a lot of times introverts and extroverts are all also attracted to each other, and introverts need alone time. They do. We all do, but introverts need a little bit more. And that's okay. You just got to figure out a balance that works for you two as far as agreements. Because if you're a quality time person and you're trying to be up her butt all day, she's got to have her recharge time. And that's just all of us need that. So what I would suggest is also find some passions and things that you also like to do that you don't need her there for. So you guys can find at least some balance between doing the things you both like to do, you don't need each other, and then things you both like to do when you are together. Just finding a balance to it. But I don't think, if anybody, we need to have space. Like we go most of the day without seeing each other or talking to each other. Even when we work in the same building or working next to each other. Heck, today we put the headphones on with each other. I had the same music hooked up, and we had most of the day we didn't spend together. We still had some quality time together, but it was mostly just you do you, I'll do me, and then I'll see you when we're done. Except for the part where, Is that why you're smiling?
I'm smiling because today he's like, hey, you want to put the headphones on? And he's like, I have music playing. I'm like, sure. So I put the headphones on, and I'm like, still working away, nice music playing. I'm like, okay, in the zone. And all of a sudden, he gets on the microphone and starts talking.
Yes, I was doing my sexy voice. I'm like, hey, babe.
I don't have to take off the headphones.
Welcome to our work hour. And like the music going.
It was so funny. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's funny. It counts. It counts, Phil. It counts.
What?
Let's see. We've been together 7 months on the 20th. Yeah, I would just try and say find a little balance with it, bud. Try and find a little bit of a balance of give her space and find out what's the balance there. Like, talk with her.
Yeah.
Learn her. It's only 7 months in, so keep learning her. Let's see. She's an Aries and I'm a Leo. 2 fire signs. Expect conflict. She's probably going to win. So don't push it. Because Leos are tough until she gets in your business and then you don't like it anymore. So find out what the balance is for you two before it starts going off the rails. Because if you're the one pushing for more time and you go too hard, expect her to go really far away. You won't like it. You won't like that at all. So I would seek some sort of agreements and balance before it's a wrap.
Yeah.
How do you two connect after a long day? You wanna answer it, baby?
No, you can answer it.
I answer all of these. I want to hear your opinion.
No, you answer it.
You're there when we connect. I'm there with you, so I know you're there. How do we connect after a long day?
I don't know. Well, so no, you answer it.
You said I don't know.
I do know. You answer it. Do we get the visual aids? Oh my god.
You're so funny.
You answer it.
Yeah, so end of the day, our quality time is bedtime. That's what it is. We get in bed together and it's quality time. Like, sometimes we'll watch a show if we have a show. It's rare that we do, but if we do, we watch like that Alone show and saw people starving in the woods. And
that's pretty great.
I don't know what it is about watching people starve in the woods, but it makes me so hungry. Like I don't usually eat at night, but that show made me want a snack. And then she likes watching shows that I find absolutely ridiculous. So she likes watching Married at First Sight, which I just
do. It's a train wreck.
I just think it's the biggest mess.
I don't have much drama in my life, so I watch a little bit of it. I don't watch a lot of TV in general. I'm not a TV person. But I do like that show. It's a little bit of a train wreck, and it's a
mess.
It's pretty good.
I'm just watching people who like. Here, you guys want to hear expert to expert? You know, Natalie will like this. Expert to expert. They got 4 relationship experts, and they hand pick these people. And some of these people are so far from prepared for commitment and prepared to be able to be married. When they put these people in these situations, it's a nightmare to watch. I'm like, within 10 seconds, I'm like, oh my gosh, this person's this and this. They're really going to pair somebody up with this for marriage? Not a good choice. I truly would have to say, expert to expert, I think they're doing it on purpose for a crazy show. Because some of these people have no business even talking about marriage. So it's got to be some kind of like, well, look, even in this season, they got guys who are decent with crazy girls see what happens.
You're missing the point. It's reality TV. Okay. So they're not going to make it so everybody just is like the perfect match. I think they do it on purpose. Oh. They do.
They do. Now, the thing that I found out, and this is why I like that Alone show. So
tell me he doesn't like Married at First Sight.
Is it B. Joe or whatever? I'm with you on that show. I like the Alone show, but I found this out too about myself watching shows like the singer shows and American Idols and all that stuff. The thing that I like, and I get all teared up, I cry, is when I watch people win something they really worked their ass off to get. I get all misty on that stuff. Like, I'm like, oh man, they worked for it. They earned it. They fought. They went tooth and nail and they went for it and they got their dream or they won the challenge or won something. I get excited over that. So if I'm watching a show with people who are putting their lives on the line to make it so that they can find love or have a chance, and they're giving all of their faith in the people who are supposed to do them right, and these experts do them dirty, so dirty.
Well, let's be fair.
I want some people to win. Like, I want at least a couple couples who go like, I love the match that we have here. Like, we are compatible. Hey, take Apollo. Thank you so much. Aries, go on. You gonna stay? Our dogs are being naughty. Okay. So in which case, I like watching people win. I do not enjoy watching train wreck shows. I think it's a mess, and it's a waste of my time. And she likes it, so since I love her, I watch train wrecks. And then when she goes to bed, I watch, like, the Terminal List or whatever. I'll watch my shows. She's always like, why are you watching Rambo and stuff? It's bedtime. I'm like, it's soothing to me. Reminds me of home growing up.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah, no, I tear up big time when I watch people win. We were watching just even the recap, because we watched all the seasons of Alone. And they did the last episode of this season. They showed the recap of when, like, the people are there and they're like, I'm starving to death. I don't know how much longer I've got. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And then, like, their family member or somebody comes around the tree, and then they're like, oh my God! Like, they can't believe the person they love the most has shown up and what is their live in hell. I got tears. Happy, proud tears rolling down my face for these people. I don't cry very often at, like, sad moments, but I cry at happy moments, which is really funny. Yeah. I really do.
I cry at both.
Found that about myself.
Yeah. Dixie says my husband tries to watch me, but the groans, the sighs, the comments ruins it.
It's hard.
We've had our moments. I'm like, let's just we already know it's a train wreck. Let's just watch it.
Like watching illiterate 5-year-olds try to balance high-level checkbooks. You're like, this is such a terrible idea. They don't even know how to do this. What are we watching here? And you're like, you're just gonna watch them mess up the entire thing. And you're like, I just want them to win at least a little. Like, we're gonna watch them fumble through it. Maybe they get close. I don't know, but it's gonna be a bumpy ride. So enjoy it.
Well, if anything, it makes us feel great about our relationship.
I don't require that piece to it because I don't do the comparison. So
no,
if you're watching train wrecks,
clearly,
if you're watching train wrecks and go, I appreciate you.
Okay,
We'll get you all the seasons. You watch them all. I'll put my headphones in and watch my shows on my tablet, and you can appreciate me all the more for not causing drama while you enjoy your show. I will be next to you. I'll hold your hand. I'll play with your hair. I'll rub your back. I'll do whatever. And then you can go, this is better than that. Makes me happy. And I'll watch my Rambo on my tablet.
Oh, that's so nonsense.
Chris Pratt shooting people or something, whatever. What?
No.
That's a show I've been watching.
Yeah, no.
Terminal List.
That is not necessary.
Okay. Thanks, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, in any case, I think it sounds pretty great. I don't mind doing all the sweet things while you watch your drama and I watch my drama.
I'm just saying I'm not watching it to just... That's the only reason I'm watching it. I watch it because it's entertaining.
Did you know that I love you and you look good in red? Was that red lipstick? Natalie, this red lipstick popping or what?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do
you go, girl.
Don't do that again.
I'll do whatever I like. I'll compliment however I want to. You ain't the boss of me. We are equal. See? Right, Natalie?
Thank you.
Right? So, anyways, next question. What do you got?
Yeah, he is a sweet talker. Like, Rick's really good at...
Diffusing?
Yeah, sometimes escalating and diffusing. He's really good at it. But yeah, he's usually in moments where I can feel a little like tense and he makes a joke. I'm easily swayed to go the other direction, so I just start laughing. It gets me every time. Bomb disposal expert.
Well, it's not hard, Phil, because she's the best NPC. Oh, how about love languages and masculine, feminine? Natalie, we actually have more questions and answers about this. I understand love languages.
Natalie, what is it that you do?
But we get confused as far as when people add in their own subjective terms for masculine and feminine energy. Because a lot of times when we were researching it for a while, we were looking it up in all different categories, and it seems to be very subjective answers for what this means. It's like, it means that everybody's got a different terminology for what these words are supposed to mean. And that's been really confusing for us to be able to connect with people on, like, this is at least the agreements we have on what this is, when everybody seems to have a different opinion of what masculine and feminine energy is.
Yeah.
It seems very subjective, and that's tricky. She's a stylist for 22 years, and also COO of Phoenix Salons.
That's awesome.
Right
okay.
on. So you're also in the psychology, therapy, counseling field.
Yeah, I hear you.
You hear everybody's problem.
Yes, you do. Yes, yes. Yep.
Let's see. So as far as the masculine and feminine energy thing, it's hard for me to say what that really is. It seems like a subjective new trigger term or whatever coin term it is, but we don't really, it doesn't really seem like it's useful. It just seems people trying to create more separation versus understanding, and that's why we remove that kind of stuff. Even my men, we don't talk about any of that stuff. It's just, what is the balance of what makes you authentic? What are the things that get you in the way to make you not feel like you're fulfilling your roles or piece or your purpose? But each of us is different, and so those agreements are different for each relationship. So I don't really say you need to be in your masculine, she needs to be in her feminine. But some people resonate with that conversation. I just haven't had the conversation with anybody who's really been able to nail it down to make it so it's something we can all agree on. It just seems everybody's got a different opinion.
Yeah, I think it's super subjective, because what are you comparing it to as well? What do you see as being masculine? What do you see as being feminine? And then it gets into judgments. It's very hard to identify what that is, because I've seen people say that, you know, a feminine male or not in his masculine is basically not providing for the household. But there's a million different reasons, not reasons, but there's a million different examples of what that means on both sides. So anyway, it's curious to see as time goes on if that changes at all.
I think that voices of reason are going to make it so that the polarization of trying to separate each other doesn't really make sense. We're a team.
Yeah.
We're trying to work together to make it so we are better together than if we aren't together. But I don't have to say you need to do your feminine energy correctly today. Like, that would be a really weird sentence for me to try to enforce. Just like she's like, you need to be in your masculine today and go and do this activity I made up as masculine.
But
I'm like, what?
Yeah, but I also know that I don't want to date a guy that's a feminine guy either. I want a masculine guy. I didn't know what you're saying, but
I think traits and like being in energy is a different thing. I think that's what the difference is.
Yeah.
Is when I say, like, are you in your energy? You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, are you in the feminine now? There's things that you could say this is more male or female.
I'm just being me. I don't know what I'm in or what I'm...
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing any of that stuff.
Yeah, just be yourself. I'll accept you for who you are, you know. So now, I think it's Nelly. Different subject. I got to answer this.
Yeah, do the lipstick one. Get it.
What lipstick do you use? Looks so wonderful. Thank you. So I use Tom Ford's lipstick called Fucking Fabulous. It's one of my favorite reds. So that's what I use, and that is the name, and I love it. So thank you.
That's what she uses.
That's all. You're welcome.
Let's see. What is it Natalie talking about? He can take longer getting ready than me.
Of course, that's the name I know.
It's funny. It's true. Let's see. Sometimes I take longer than her, but not often.
That beard, though. It's just a straightening of the beard.
The beard takes a minute. This is my makeup. That's what this is. It takes. If she does her makeup, I have to fix the beard. Otherwise, this thing is just gnarled.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. What do you consider must-read books? That's honestly a really difficult question. We have a lot of books. There. I guess it really depends what level you're at with things, because I have beginner books that I start people off with, like Learning Your Enneagrams, or The Four Agreements with Don Miguel Ruiz, or going through some of like the more simple ones for starting off and getting a foundation into going down the field. Personally, some of the most impactful ones for me probably fall under more the Stephen Covey and Marcus Aurelius. I found the memoirs from Marcus Aurelius when I got into my philosophies and psychology setup. That was fantastic. But there's a lot of different rabbit holes I've gone down. I've gone down the Socrates rabbit hole, Aristotle, Epictetus. You get down into a lot of Stoic philosophy and stuff like that. But if you're farther, Phil's got it. Read my book. My book is useful. You can read everything as a choice.
Yeah.
That's a good introductory book. It's built that way. So if you read my book, Everything is a Choice. It's co-written with Dr. Orrin Cox, PhD. He's a PhD in transformational psychology. And so check it out.
Teacher's pet.
Phil's our biggest fan. I love Phil. But yeah, the 4 Agreements is good. Read my book. My book is literally written as an objective point of view to teach you what is. It doesn't get into the best practices. The next 3 books that we'll be putting out will have the best practices to how to do things, and those will be a little more impactful.
Yeah.
So we have big plans. There's a lot in the works already. But my first book is a good start too. It's about as long as the 4 Agreements. It's like 100 pages. I think it's 115. Yep. It's a real quick read, but it's designed to be impactful and get your foundation started.
It's good to offer also reference too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We have a stack of them in here somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
They're over here.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see. What else do we got here? What else do we got here? Do you do any classes for men or also women or partners? So, interesting thing. I am training a women's coach right now, so we can have a women's version. Natalie, here's something you might appreciate. This is something that we're running through where we're working with our men. And we've also done a few things, like Andrea and I have taken some couples classes also, and we've also taught some couples how to understand each other. But we recognize that there's a big disadvantage. Our men will go through 100 days of intense learn yourself training, new skills, new abilities, and learn how to really get to their purpose and understanding and be stronger, smarter, wiser. In every single category, they're better. And then after that 100 days, 14 weeks down, or whatever it is, then we throw a woman in, the wife or the spouse or girlfriend or whoever, we throw them in, no training, keep up. And we're like, that's not good. We got to give them a chance to parallel each other, grow in their own groups. So we're going to have men and women will be separated, but the same content, but it's spoken differently. Men and women speak very differently. And so a women's group is going to be far more reassuring and more nurturing, where guys' groups are far more instructional and a little more straight to the point. And it's designed that way on purpose. It's how we operate. And so we are going to do it so within the next, it's probably going to be the next few months. We're already working on it. We'll be building it out. And then we'll be able to work with both men and women at the same time. And then we will also have an option for couples also after they've completed that first part, because then you will be very ready in understanding not only terminology, but mindset and also growth to be on the same page. If both partners can complete all 100 days of my program and be able to do the couples group, that couple will be strong as hell. So I don't see that couple being a failed couple. They will be able to handle just about anything separately and together. So it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So good question, Natalie. Yeah, we are working on it. We do see the need for working with women also. The principles all still stay the same, but we have to have the different terminology.
Yeah, I'll take your information down.
Yeah, that would be good. Let's see. How would I say it? BJoer979. Can men and women be just friends? I have never been able to do it, but is it possible? We did a video on this one. As far as what we've seen, can men and women be friends? Yes. But it's like the smallest percentage of like people who would be able to do it, where there has to be like, we are absolutely never going to be, but is it likely? It's probably more like 97% chance it's not going to work. It's really not good. And if you're in a relationship, is what I mean. I don't mean like just in general. Can men and women be friends? Yeah, until somebody like wants to sleep with the other.
Or
can we be real though, guys? Until the woman says green light. That's pretty much what it is.
I told you.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you aggressively.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, until you start into a new relationship, I think that also makes a difference too. Because most women, if he had a whole bunch of friends that were girls, for me, that would be a red flag. I would have a lot of questions.
And if she has guys who are friends, even ones that she used to date, that's the reality of my life right now.
What?
Because you do have guys who are friends, and you still talk to guys that you used to date at least maybe once or twice, like every few months or so.
Maybe once a year.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't do that. Do not do that, because I tell you, and I also have I have them on speaker. You're like throwing me under the bus tonight.
Not really, babe. It's our reality.
Yeah, but wait.
Am I being dishonest?
No, but I think
I'm not. This is just our reality. That's all it is.
Do you want to get into this?
Do you want to?
Do you want to?
Everybody wants to get into it. Do your vote right now. Push thumbs up for fight. Push thumbs down for avoid it. We want to see your vote.
There's one person that I talked to. I think I hadn't talked to him in 2 years, I think. Called out of the blue. He has a family, kids, all that. I'm so upfront and honest that when he called me and I answered, I came in the house and had him on speaker, walked right into the bedroom, and I said, hey, just to let you know, this is what this is, and left on speaker the entire time. He's like, I don't care. No big deal. What? That's what you said.
I got the little king hat thing on. That was cute.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
No.
Yeah, that's cute.
So here's the difference with this. Here's the difference. She says, my full disclosure, that makes it okay. So if she's coming in while talking to another guy, but says, look, I'm talking to another guy because I told you we're good. If I walked in talking to another girl, it's okay, but I'm just talking to another girl, and you're like, who is this? I'm like, oh, just so-and-so. And like, I'm even on speakerphone, no problem. She'd be like, not okay.
No, direct messaging, Facebook messaging, any of that. Like, full disclosure. I'm like, here you go.
You have access to all my stuff. You're logged into my things. I don't care. So
there's no inappropriate anything ever.
The difference is you'll still talk to them, and
if you said, hey, I don't want you talking to this person, I would be like, okay, done. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I walked in and I'm talking to a girl, and I'm like, oh yeah, we used to talk, we used to be together, we used to whatever. Listen,
that has happened.
Yeah, but not since we've been together. But I mean, if that's a thing where I'm like, hey, no, this is another person, and you know, we're a thing, and we're still very cool. You'd be like, that's not okay.
Oh, but we've had that conversation.
Not when we're together.
Yes, we have.
No, you have made that up. You made up it was something different.
We've had that conversation.
Not,
I don't think you want to have this conversation. Look at you're so quick to be like, here's the buzz. Here, go sliding underneath it. I'm like, I am upfront and honest. You have everything that you could ever want. I even keep this person on speaker. Here you go. You don't want me to talk to him? That's fine.
Hey, listen.
Don't be sorry you asked.
I don't have that
I'm
thing.
not gaslighting him. Just telling the truth.
Mm.
I'm also withholding information as well.
I mean, listen, babe. If you want to start throwing dirty laundry out on a live, we can make this. We'll get ratings real quick. Like these guys just went from functional to
they're
dysfunctional.
Like so cool.
Very,
what the hell is happening?
Quickly.
No, I'm giving him a hard time. We're not going to get dysfunctional. But the beginning of we'll just leave it at that. He knows. Like, do not. I am very. If you guys are new to the live, I consider myself to be very loyal and a faithful person. I'm very loyal, and that's why I'm so upfront and honest with him. Like, here, this is what this is, because I never want there to be any questions. His comment back to me is always like, yeah, I get it. It's fine. Like, I don't have the same thing as you, so I don't need to know about that. I don't care. I still will show him things. What?
Yeah, like drink.
Yeah, I'm sure. Where you always say you don't have that, but I
don't care. It's just all I'm pointing out is the double standard. That's all it is. I do not care. I feel no threat. I am not worried about any other guys. I don't even consider it.
Right.
I don't care. I'm simply saying if I did exactly the same thing.
I do not like it.
You don't like it.
I don't like it.
That's all I'm saying is I don't care. But you have a very different point of view.
I absolutely do care.
That's all I'm
saying.
saying.
Is why there's a difference, because I do share things with you. If one person calls me out of the blue in 2 years, I walk in the house, I have it on speaker for you to see. Because I am open and honest, because I know what that would feel like if you were doing that. And I don't want there to be any questions. And if you said, hey, I don't want you talking to this person, I would say, okay, fair enough. You're my guy. I will respect that. That is what that is.
I appreciate that you do it. I'm grateful. I'm not arguing with you on this. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But if
I came home and we're talking to random girls, I would have a big issue.
You said random girls. What the hell is that? I'm not talking to random girls. Like, I don't even know who this is, but I'm talking to her. She's random. I don't even know who this person is.
Oh my God.
Random people. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Very silly, babe. But no, I do appreciate that you open up. I just don't have the same things that you have where I have to make a big deal of it, talking to randos.
Yeah.
So silly.
Bet.
Like, I'd be talking
No,
like I don't know who this girl is. I'm just talking to her. She's random. Even I'm confused.
Yeah. No, yeah. We do best. We do have banter often. We go back and forth. It's like this tennis match. And then it just kind of fizzles out like it is now. And we're just kind of like, all right, who wants to talk about something else?
Yeah, let's take on some other questions. Yeah, and Who's Your Plumber, man? I'm glad that you guys are listening to that. And you'll get to see Eddie. Eddie's one of the guys who does the phone calls with us. He's on our podcast. It's called The Choice. But a lot of it's on Spotify. Not all the episodes are on YouTube. So on Spotify, you'll find more of our stuff for The Choice. It was our Everything is a Choice program. So, yeah, check some of that stuff out. You'll see some stuff. We haven't been doing a lot of those because we've been working so diligently on The Warrior's Way, but you can still see a lot of stuff for our podcast. So that still is up there. Mm-hmm. We got like 20-something episodes. There's enough to go through. There's some long ones.
Yeah.
But good content. A lot of you, too. You'll see me without a beard. So weird.
Yeah.
I got to redo all my videos for my programs because in the last few years, since I grew this thing out, I don't even look like I used to look. I look a different human being.
You are a different human being.
I am a different human being.
Yeah, you are.
I don't even recognize old me. So, that's true. Facts.
Very baby face.
Phil's seen. So is Chris. I'm glad to see you. Amy, I saw you jumped on here, too. Yeah. I'm glad to see you on here.
Amy.
We got Amanda. See, Amanda.
Would you say banter is a need or preference? It's a part of your... If it's a part of your communication.
Probably preference. I don't know if it's a need. Everyone's different.
Thank you, Jays. I appreciate that.
So, I know she likes when I goof around with her on stuff because it makes it easier. I don't require it as much as she does.
I do. I can be a little bit of a smartass, though, so sometimes I can take it a little far, and then he has to remind me, like, okay, now it's not funny anymore.
Healthy boundaries.
But I do prefer when he jokes around with me because it does lighten the mood and I'll go all day back and forth. Like, not all day, for a moment. So,
yeah, it's
good.
Amanda, you got a good question. How do you help break a man's cycle of having to be self-reliant instead of asking for help? I'd have to probably figure out where his thing is that makes him feel like he doesn't have to, or that he's afraid to, or he won't do it, or But a lot of time it really comes down to being trained that you can't show vulnerability or weakness. And if he has to ask for help, it shows he's not good enough, or he can't provide, or he can't protect, or he can't whatever the thing he'd need to ask help for. It would just be more of a validation that he's not good enough. And who wants to be reminded you're not good enough, especially in the face of somebody who you love? If he's your protector or your rock, and he's got to ask for help, and then you look at him as not as reliable or good, well, then he's less attractive to you, and then he loses his relationship. We were taught by women that we can't show weakness or else you leave us. And that's probably a big reason why he's developed that system. Mm-hmm. Why would you say banter is a need or preference? Okay, so we answered that one for Amy.
How to avoid arguments in a relationship to have a peaceful relationship?
I don't know. We just did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do what we do.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I don't know if avoiding arguments is necessarily... It's not. I think it's good to have disagreements and arguments. It is. I think the thing about arguments is how do you learn from those arguments to make your relationship better? Mm-hmm. Because relationships without arguments,
it doesn't seem possible. Here's why. Here's why. In our love circle, love amplifies all of our emotions, because the thing that makes us the most upset or the most angry is going to fall under taken or lost. If something is taken from you or something is lost, injustice or unfairness or unmet needs. This is generally where you'll start getting the most upset. These things happen in work and other regular situations. It's not a big deal. But when you are in a relationship, all the volume gets turned up. Everything is amplified, both positive and negative, both of them. And so all of your good emotions get amplified and all of your bad emotions get amplified. Think about how often you get jealous over shit that other people are doing. It's really rare. But if somebody's talking to your person or they're getting more attention somewhere else, now all of a sudden you're jealous? Since when? That's not even a thing I do. In your love, it's going to amplify your emotion tenfold, which is why, because a higher value of what the person is to you is going to make you have a very different reaction. So it only makes sense that you're going to have more complications and more arguments with somebody who has a higher value. That makes sense. The hard part for you guys is finding a healthy way to still have that disagreement without having blowouts. Really, truthfully, if you want to know the hardest part about it, is being a better listener. Whenever we work with people, it's just people can't wait to have their turn to talk. They need to be heard, but they won't listen to the other person so they can feel heard too. Here's a big tip. Stop interrupting each other. Really listen, but they'll talk forever and they'll keep going and keep going. Yes, they will. Get a notebook out, and when they're doing an argument style, which is called stacking, which means they go from one topic to the next topic to the next topic to the next topic to the next topic. That's going to make it so you can go, all right, I see all of your topics. There's no way you're going to remember all of it. And that's going to make it easier for you guys to be able to go, let's go through some of these things one at a time here instead of doing all of it. But listen. The more you listen, the more you guys will understand each other. And the more you work to understand each other, the more you guys won't have to fight. The more you can disagree still. If you understand where they're coming from, you don't have to agree. But at least you'll understand and they'll feel heard, and that's easier for you guys to all right, well, we can agree, we don't agree. We have stuff we don't agree on. Mm-hmm. I still respect her and I understand where she's at, but I don't agree with it. So some things I don't change just because we disagree. That's just where it's going to be for that. I won't sacrifice certain things, or I don't agree with certain standards that she does. You can do them. I won't change those ones. And if that's a deal breaker, there's certain non-negotiables that all of us should have that's a deal breaker. If it is, it is. And if it's not, then we keep growing. That's all it is. And then some stuff you can alter. Some stuff like this isn't non-negotiable. We can kind of find a middle ground here. You just have to find what it is. But to say you can't fight with somebody who's at the highest value of like your importance, all the volume's turned up. So your unmet needs are going to make you get a little more angry than you would with anybody else.
Yeah. I think a piece of good advice, too, when you're in an argument is try to remind yourselves that you're focused on, during the argument, to make things better and to fight against it to make whatever topic you guys are fighting about better as a team rather than fighting against each other. That's something that he always tries to remind us about. Like, we're fighting against the same thing to make it better, to find an understanding, not towards each other.
Yeah.
Because we typically argue about the communication part. Like, we don't usually even argue about the topic. Sometimes we go back and forth about the communication itself.
That's what we argue about.
That's
sure.
us.
Yeah, we argue about arguing. Yeah, have a psychologist for argument. We argue about the tactics that are used during arguing.
Ladies,
that's almost all of our arguments. It'll be something stupid like, hey, I don't like that thing's there. And I'll be like, what is with this tone? Why don't you just listen? The thing itself doesn't bother me, but the way you're speaking to me is. Like, that's the argument. It's so silly.
It is silly.
We get into the silliest stuff sometimes. TC, what
silly
are you
us.
silly you.
Us.
You're so
silly
pretty.
Us.
I love you. TC, what are you talking about? You got, can you explain, let's see, if he asks for help and then he won't, or that he won't ask?
Someone's replying. So I saw your message. I think she was saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, TC, wait, ask him to change the light bulb, and he asked me to go get the ladder and the bulb. Teamwork!
Teamwork. Listen, she's pregnant. She shouldn't be getting the ladder. Get the bulb, I'll get the ladder.
Yeah. Scroll up a little. I think what your comment was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the thing that you fall in love with someone for is the thing that ends up irritating you about them. Mm-hmm. I think that was your comment. I know I talked about that the last live or maybe a couple times ago. It's a true thing. Someone to be very, very outgoing and charismatic and everything like that. When you first meet them, like, so exciting. That's the guy I want. And then you realize, like, this person's charismatic with everybody. And sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know if I like that.
It's a double-edged sword, though, because, ladies, you guys change the rules based on a higher level of commitments, and then guys try to alter themselves to match your rules, and then you're not attracted to him anymore because he's changed who he is.
That's exactly it. Don't do it.
It doesn't work.
Yep. I want him to be the man, do-it-yourself man.
Was he ever the do-it-yourself man?
Yeah, that's something to consider. Was he like, I'm going to change the light bulb and I'm going to
I'm the handyman,
all the
babe.
things I need to do it.
Choose me. I'm the handyman. So then what changed? You just started helping way too much? I don't know. What changed? Something changed.
I've been at fault for that.
Yeah, if you start going, I'm going to do it all myself, and he's like, whatever.
I'm not needed.
I'm not needed. You do it yourself then. Fine.
Yep.
You want to fire the handyman? Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you help him
too much.
You trained him to do this.
Yeah.
You trained him. You got to go, hey,
women have to be so careful with this. It is, because if you are independent woman and you do things by yourself, like, I'll just change the light, and I'm like this. If I see something's out, I'll just do it. There's certain things I will not do. I won't build anything. I will not do it. Like, something will stay not built for years because I will not do it. He has to do it, or my other daughter will do it because she's good at it. But if you step up and start doing a lot, like yard work and everything like that, and he's not doing it, you're training him that you're going to do it. So don't do that. How do you fix it? How does she fix that?
How do you make it so that I feel more excited about doing something that I normally wouldn't want to do? Usually
it's, listen, I know that you are so strong. And you also know that I am not as strong as you.
Shut up.
And also, it's so hot out today.
Stop it.
And I know you don't mind being hot because
baby,
you are hot every day.
For real, you're being silly.
No,
please, for real.
You'll be running out the door to do whatever I need.
Stop it. No, for real. Tell him how. What do you have to do? Like, what would you really do?
That's what I would do.
That's not what you do.
That's exactly what I would do.
You are being silly.
So, I usually say, hey, would you mind role play it? Okay. Give me an example of what we want to do.
All right. She wants a light bulb changed.
Okay. Hey.
And I don't feel like changing light bulbs right now.
Yeah.
So.
Can you do me a favor, please?
I don't know. What do you have?
So there's a light bulb in the bathroom that needs to be fixed.
Okay.
I can do it. I really don't want to do it right now. Would you mind doing that for me today?
I don't want to do it either, babe.
I know.
You know
me either.
You know how to change a light bulb.
Yeah,
right?
but I really won't have to get out the ladder. I don't even know where the ladder's at.
What are you doing? What are you doing, babe? Listen, I'm going to help you, TC. Here's how she can make me do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Do I...
Baby, you just talked about yourself and the stuff you don't want to do.
Well, I tried to build you up first, and that didn't work either. So
no, you didn't build me up at
all.
all.
How do
You
I
just
normally ask you?
You just go like, "Hey, babe, you're way better at this. You're big and strong. I need my strong man to go ahead and do it." You were doing like this weird, like, so like you're the super strong.
No, I was not.
Can you just get this done? You don't do that. We don't talk like that. That's silly, babe. As far as normally, it would be one of those things like, hey, you're really good at doing this. I love when you do this stuff. Thank you so much for being the good guy that you are. Can you please just crush this thing out like the tough man that you are? Like, build your guy up.
I don't talk to him like that either.
Listen, build your man up. I'll tell you, hey, listen, I'm giving you the blueprint,
But he's
baby.
also not that guy.
Don't do this stuff. That makes it odd. Ooh, if I was like, you're so...
It worked earlier today.
I was like, you're so clean. I love what you do with dishes. Because your cleanliness is impeccable. It's so impressive how good you are at cleaning.
You're making fun of me now.
Like, listen, but if I did that, you would be very,
I was being sarcastic.
Anything.
And because also, I am sarcastic with you like that sometimes, and you still do it. So babe, don't tell these people doesn't work.
I'll change the damn light bulb anyways.
That's what
I don't care. I'm just saying you don't do it like that. That's weird.
You also don't do it like this guy. If I say, hey, can you change the light bulb? You're like, yeah, I'll do it. I got it.
Yeah.
End of story.
Agreed. It's nonsense. Listen, the bottom line is, if you want your guy to do it, build him up. Be like, hey, I need my big strong man to go ahead and change this light bulb. Can you go ahead and be the badass that I know you are? And he'll be like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do manipulation tactics. Just build him up. Just build him up. That's how you do it. And let him handle shit. And the more you try to handle, the less he's going to do. So let him do stuff. Even if he's not doing it the way you want it done, let him do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do men have cycles of pulling away? Perhaps if they... Perhaps if their feelings are deepening. It depends on the guy. I'd have to know what you mean by it, Amy. If you're talking about your long-distance relationship guy, yeah, he's a long-distance relationship and he's not the right one for you. Sorry. Not sorry. That's not the right guy for you, Amy. You're too good for that guy. If it's the same guy we're talking about, are you talking about that long-distance guy you've been talking to over a year who's never going to like you because...
No, he's local.
Oh, we got a new guy. Okay.
You're on fire tonight.
I'm on fire. Hey,
Amy, what did you think you were talking about?
Amy, get in line.
You're on fire.
You got me all heated up after you started doing all this.
The stuff that I never do.
Yeah, the stuff you never do, baby.
Same guy. Drop it.
Amy.
It's fine. Stop it. That, you know what? Now you understand how I feel too, Amy.
I hope this guy's good to you, Amy.
Yeah, me too.
If he's doing all these things that you ask and he's pulling away and cycles of pulling away, and if his feelings are deepening and you feel like you're not being, loved or shown attention or being cared about, these are red flags to go like, what are you operating with here, Amy? Just because you're worth the time that somebody is going to put in with you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're worth it. And these are some of the stuff that we like you. We're glad that you're around. And I really would like you to be happy. And this guy seems to just drop the ball on you a lot. And that's not your standard. At least I'd hope it wouldn't be. Listen, I am being subjective. I am giving my opinion. This is maybe me being a little bit like Papa Bear over here. Like, come on, girl, you are better than that. I don't like
your back.
I don't like when people mess with our people. It. Don't mess with our people. So, anyways, sorry,
You feel better now?
Listen,
No, I'm just asking.
Phil, we're gonna have one of these lives where the camera's going to be pushed real far back,
First
and
of
old
all,
Sassafras here is going to see what a wrestling match feels like.
What is wrong with me asking you if you feel better now?
Baby.
You don't?
You're doing that like, so you feel better now?
Listen,
glad to have you back.
Here's one thing I'm really...
It seems, I'll ask you, it seems a little bit like you're antagonizing a little bit.
I think you're adding. For people that know me, they know how much I'm real big on, let's not add. Let's not add to the story. And that's what you're doing. Patronizing, we do it to each other. Yeah. Yes, TC. Yeah. We are the pot, what is it? How do they say it? The pot calling the kettle black or something? The kettle calling the pot black. What is this saying?
You nailed it. You got it right, babe.
Well, that's what we do to each other.
You do it. You do it.
No, you do it.
You do it. All right. What can us women do to help ease a man's mind when they are extremely stressed out to the max? Well, there's a few things we can do. Just saying. There's a few things you can do. First off, he's got to be able to try and manage his own stress. But I'll tell you right now, a good shot of oxytocin chills a dude out. It's facts. How can you not let my anxiety and overthinking interfere with my relationships? Casey Miller, give me a little bit on that one. Casey's sitting on a lot of stuff here. Let's see. People are different when you live together. You can't cohabitate. If you can't cohabitate, then no. There's a question that we missed on that.
Yeah. One. I think it was, Casey, were you asking the question about moving in together after a couple months or how soon?
Oh, yeah. Good question. I remember. That was the guy Julian or something like that was asking something like that. Oh, Blonde 2.0. Welcome back, girl.
Hello.
Welcome back. I'd have to, as far as real talk, Amy, for like the stress thing, if I understood what the guy was really working through or whatever, it would give me an idea. Also, how he handles things makes it easier for me to work with him. So, without specifics, I would just say, like, well, what kind of conveniences can you do for him? But he's going to have to work for it. But yeah, Julian 1.0, he asked, like, how soon to move in with somebody. So I did see your question, bud. And as far as that one goes, it's a really subjective thing. Like, you guys have to kind of gauge your level of commitment. Just understand, with each level of commitment you guys go up, it is new rules. This is why a lot of times marriages fall apart, because the expectation that people have for marriages, it changes once the ring goes on. Just like when people move in, the rules change. All of your habits and things they used to love about you now get in the way of their stuff. The rules change with each level. And if you guys aren't having conversations about that, it's going to get pretty hairy pretty fast. Which ones are you reading, babe? No?
How do
Okay. You just... No.
I don't know. Really, what I was thinking is you're brushing your beard and you're like, that one can get pretty hairy, and then it just made me giggle. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Here's a good one. How to keep from killing each other when remodeling.
Yep. Got no cures. We had to remodel, and it was almost a death every day. Demo. That's what I would say. If you're remodeling, do some demo. Go ahead and tear a wall down together.
That feels
you guys
good.
will feel great.
Yeah. Yes.
Not random walls, though. Like, knock a hole in the bathroom, you're going to have a bigger problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I need a man. Any help? Continue to work on yourself. Be as good as you can be.
I don't know. I think also, too, I would work really hard on your interview process to not just settle. Because I see women go like, so according to your resume here, you're a bad boy. You like to cheat on every girl you're with. You want to ruin my credit. That'll be fun. Looks like, you also have highly aggressive tendencies. You consider yourself an alpha male, but you also like to just pick fights with everybody, which doesn't seem as alpha. Looks like you're going to try and sleep with every one of my friends and maybe even my sister. Interesting. Yeah, I've seen enough here. Do you guys have reliable transportation, or do you have a car? Oh, you don't have a car. You want to use mine and drive it right into the ground, and you probably drink and drive and crash it into some stuff for me to have my insurance premium go through the roof. Excellent. So, when can you start? I see women have interview processes like this, and I'm like, maybe we should reevaluate your standards for what qualifications you have for this life partner thing. Just saying.
Yeah, people know how to interview, though, too. A lot of people do. So then you really have to pay attention to what their actions are, because people know how to interview these days.
Yeah, J6002. Where did you get your resume? It'd be really fun if people had, like, resumes, right? Wouldn't it be fun? Yeah. Wouldn't it be fun if people, like, had to wore a shirt that would be like the truth?
Yeah, you had to put, like, the ex's name, how long were you together, why you broke up, like, put the dates on there.
They can call the ex for like, all right, so what was the reason this happened?
Right, his phone number or her phone number, so you can, for personal references, you had a...
Can you tell me what happened?
Their social media accounts, oh my gosh, what a mess. No one would be dating anybody.
Oh, I don't know. People would have, they'd be knowing what they're walking into.
Oh my gosh.
The ex has to give them more rating.
Oh my gosh, right.
That'd be really funny. They're like, oh, have fun with the mother-in-law. And you're going to be like, oh, what does that mean? Let me tell you. And you're like, all right, well, yeah, I think nobody would be dating if the exes had to give them the green light.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be such a mess.
Would it be for you? I don't think it would be for me.
Shut up.
I don't think it would.
Shut up.
I don't think that...
I love your confidence, babe. Shut up.
I don't think that many people that I dated would be like, she's a horrible person or she was crazy. I don't think they would...
They'd be like, let me sabotage you before you start because I want her back.
Ew.
You?
No.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have glowing reviews on you.
I don't think they would have anything bad to say. I really don't. Would yours?
Listen, you don't even want me to get into that conversation. All right, how to handle an avoided and obnoxious attachment type. Blonde 2.0, I don't know. Give me the example of the one that you're messing with.
It doesn't say obnoxious.
Oh, it says anxious. Anxious attachment. That was her question from before. Her anxious attachment.
Can you imagine if you had an obnoxious attachment style?
I'm imagining it right now.
Oh my god, I can't. That's so funny to me. I don't know why that's so funny to me. I suffer from an obnoxious attachment style.
So far away, I can't see good. So far.
I suffer from OAS, obnoxious attachment style. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, no, this is a mess.
Well, I don't know how to fix obnoxious attachment style at all. It seems obnoxious.
You think he's thinking I'm obnoxious? No, he's not.
No.
I don't care. I don't care.
They say once a cheater, always a cheater. What do you think? I think sometimes people can learn their lessons when they make mistakes, and then there are some people who are going to be compulsively cheaters. I don't believe it's always. I think there are exceptions to the rules. I think people can change, people can evolve, people can learn from their mistakes. So I don't believe that's always. I believe people can grow and people can change. That's how we get better. But there are some people who are not willing to change, and they always want to keep chasing. So some can. The ones who want to can, and the ones who don't won't. That's pretty much the answer. All right. Books that are must read for young men. Man, I don't even know. Like I said, we talked earlier. Read mine, and then read. I use the 4 Agreements, and mine are just good entry levels. They're really basic. So 4 Agreements and Everything is a Choice are good starter books, and then as they start getting better and more aware of how those systems work, then there's other books to move up. How to Win Friends and Influence People is
That's a good one.
So Dale Carnegie is always solid. Like, I think there's a lot of really good ones. It's just hard to say entry level for young men. You know, so 4 Agreements and then read mine. Everything's a Choice. It gets them a good start. No, Blonde 2.0, we were goofing around. I read it wrong. They're making fun. She's making fun of me. It's fine.
Yeah.
You wrote it right. You wrote it right. I read it wrong. It's just far away, and I've got my contact setting. Can't see as well. They're really working. No, they're just dry. Everything's blurring for me. Anyways, nobody cares about that. Right? Nobody cares. How do you help through an obnoxious attachment issue? You make fun of me. That's how you do it.
Yeah, you put the right thing. He just read it incorrectly.
I read it wrong.
That's what was so funny.
Mm-hmm. You meant anxious and avoidant.
And he said,
like I said last time, I think that it comes down to you're living in fear. You're creating the possibility of somebody repeating something. And in this case, I think it was your mom that left you. And I think you're worried about people leaving you. And you try and leave them before they can hurt you.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, and so how do you overcome anxious and avoidant situations? You have to let go of what isn't reality and understand that all fear is just a possible future that most likely never really happens, but it happened once or twice in the past, and you don't want to repeat it. But I think at this point, you're creating self-fulfilling prophecies. You're making sure the things that you focus on come true.
Yep.
And you leave them before they can leave you. And I didn't mean to rhyme it like that. Very Dr. Seuss of me.
Does someone's past matter? Any tips on getting over someone's past?
Everyone's past matters. Everyone's past matters because that's how we're supposed to learn. So the point is, from your past, the way you get over your past is maybe not the correct term, but you're supposed to learn your lessons from the things that we go through in life. So you go through all of the stuff you've gone through. You call them mistakes or things that you've learned from behavior, and you take all of these things and you learn from them. And once you're able to learn, you don't have to hold on to the rest of the bad parts of the memory. You just take the lessons that improve you and then move forward. But a lot of times people hold on to the negative feelings that are associated with loss or whatever it may be. And so if you or they are holding on to all of these injustices, or they're holding on to all these betrayals, or they're holding on to something that was taken or lost, if they're holding on to all these things and they're not trying to learn lessons and grow from it, they're going to be stuck in their loss system for a very long time. So I don't know the situation for what it is they have to work through, but they're probably going to be bouncing back and forth between anger, depression, bargaining, and denial until they can finally get to the point where they can accept the lesson they were supposed to learn and then be able to grow to be better from it. But that's how the past works, is we're supposed to be learning from it.
Yeah.
So it does matter. What are you pointing at, babe?
No, I was just making sure that the question was answered. Does that answer your question? What you were asking?
Hopefully.
My husband would constantly ask me if I was cheating on him. Do you see this as a red flag?
I don't think it's good when trust is the thing that's being played with. The foundation for every relationship is trust. It just is. I wish it wasn't, because then we could say communication is most important or some other aspect is most important, but without trust, you don't have anything else.
Yeah.
And so if somebody is constantly calling trust into question and putting you on trial, it's going to be a problem, always. So, do I see this as a red flag? I do. Does that mean I could make accusations that they're doing what they're accusing you of? It can happen, but it doesn't have to be. It could also be that they hate that it happened to them in the past.
Also, you said my husband would constantly ask me, so are you still married?
She's like, hell no, I canceled that guy's membership.
Well, I'm curious if you're still married and if he just all of a sudden just stopped asking you that. We'll wait for your response.
Only a thief is worried about getting robbed. That's not always true, Natalie. Some people have been robbed before and they hated it. Like, I don't like my car getting broken into because it got broken into and everything stolen twice, but I don't break into people's cars to steal stuff.
Yeah, you've been separated for 5 months.
Well,
can I ask if it was because he was cheating? What? I'm not trying to be funny.
You may be right.
Yeah.
You may be right. Was he cheating on you? Because
I hope
that
not,
would make Natalie very correct.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope he was just going through his own stuff and it just didn't work out. But yeah, if he was cheating on her,
don't get me started, Phil. You know that is my trigger.
That would be funny. The irony. It is one of the possibilities for sure. When people are trying to prevent the other person from doing the thing they're doing, absolutely.
Yep. Or they get highly defensive.
I just overthink really badly, and I can't help but think it sometimes, and my anxiety doesn't help. I think that's interesting. Started drinking again and getting violent.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's not good. Casey, I actually have a thing. We did a training with some of my men 2 days ago, and I think we established the word overthink is a bad word for us. It's a judgment, if you think about it. You think too much. You're overthinking. I understand the possibilities where overthinking can be useful, where I'm going through every single scenario. Now, the reason this becomes a problem is in every scenario you're creating in your mind, it's all a projection of the future, and you don't have all of the information for the future. So what you're going to do is keep creating all of these multiple scenarios that will eventually get to a point where you can't solve the problem because you don't know what's going to happen. And then if you have all of these files that you opened up in your mind of possible things that could happen that are all unsolved, overthinking makes you make no decisions at all, or just quit, or like screw this, or I don't know what to do, or even worse, validate that you are not good at being able to figure out how to solve things, because look at all the versions of the future I made and I don't know how to handle any of them. So maybe I just suck at making choices or suck at solving problems, and this just reiterates why you should have anxiety over the possible negative futures you keep creating. I think the term overthink is a bad word. What you should be doing is taking all of these scenarios, and you should be doing a selective elimination process to be able to get rid of the possibilities that don't seem likely, so you can narrow it down to the best 3 options and then maybe 1 or 2 options that seem the most likely, and the other ones you can understand or have contingencies if they came up, but you don't have to hold on to them. Get rid of those. Get rid of those ones that aren't serving you, because they're possible futures that most of the time, like 99% of the time, never ever happen. But you can still learn from these futures without having all the emotional attachment to not being able to solve problems that aren't really problems. They're just maybe they could be problems. In which case, I think overthinking is a judgment that makes you feel bad. But on this one, I think it comes down to eliminating down to your best options, and then maybe being able to prepare for the worst and be ready for the best. Ironically, how often when you're doing anxiety, are you really thinking of all the possibilities that could go right? That would be overthinking. Yeah, I think it's more like you're not overthinking. You just got to work down the variables of what the right best options or most likely options are. Eliminate some of those so you don't go crazy. Otherwise, you just put yourself in analysis paralysis. You do nothing. Too many options makes me choose nothing. That's how it goes. Get it down to 3. Your 3 best, you'll do better. I heard maybe he was cheating on me, and then my next choice will be very clear. Yeah. Is it restore
Restored Zelda.
I like the name. That's cool. Okay. Yeah, well done. Well done, Zelda. I'm not going to say the first part. Zelda is cool, though. But I overthink about overthinking. Eliminate some stuff down, Casey, because a lot of it, almost none of it ever happens. It's not real, man. But I think putting a knife next to my neck is a boundary I didn't know I had. I know that feeling, so I understand that one. Yeah, you don't really understand what that's like until somebody intends to do harm. It's a very different thing. So, well done getting out of that, Zelda. Good job. You're no longer in that situation. This is part of your story, and you can now learn also some of the red flags of guys you don't want to be attracted to. Take some time to yourself, though, and really work through all of the stuff you've gone through, so that way you don't bring the pain from somebody else's trauma over into the next relationship.
And understand if there's a pattern in who you date, too. Because a lot of times you're attracted to the same type of person, and you end up dating the same type of person, and then you wonder why it's not working out. So, yeah. What?
Oh, Wild Snorlax said Rick the Gray. Pretty soon, man, I'm going to be Rick the White. That's funny. You don't get it. You don't get it.
Too.
You're an NPC. But if you're more in the nerd realm, you'll understand what he was talking about. Appreciate you, bro. It's Lord of the Rings, baby.
Yeah, I got it.
Did you really though?
Why are you?
Who is it? Who's the gray and then turns into the white?
Don't nobody care.
What? You guys see what I have to deal with, you guys. Wild Snorlax, you see what I got to mess with?
Say something nice about me.
I think you look absolutely stunning today.
That makes me feel better.
God. Those glasses are killing it.
Because you're taking little digs.
Taking digs, baby.
And I'm an NPC.
You are an NPC.
Thank you.
You're the best NPC.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, Boogeyman.
Oh, Boogeyman 136. Thank you guys for being so helpful and inspiring. Thank you, Boogeyman. Hey, buddy.
Rick, do you think men are overlooked in society?
Yes. We're in a weird shift right now where we've pushed the pendulum too far the other way, where guys are being silenced. Ironically, if you look at what's happening, there's a lot more women standing up for men's rights activists. More women are standing up than men, because men are being canceled and silenced. And look at the court system, for example. I have no guys pumped about court, but I know women going in and smashing dudes, even if they're not good women. And it's bad for good women too, by the way. This doesn't help good women. Like, there's a lot of bad women right now making it very hard for good women. But even J6002 says no, they're not. I'll tell you what, I don't know any guys who are anti-equal. I'm just saying, we're all about equality. No problem. 50-50, right down the middle. What's good for me is good for you. Guys would have no problem with this. Just saying. Says guys are wearing skinny jeans, LL. Come on. How can you take them seriously? I'm not going to go against, listen, the skinny jean guys, they're not hanging out with me. Do I like Jordan Peterson, David Goggins, Andrew Tate, etc.? I do, yes. They all have different niches and different strategies on what to do, but they're all useful. So I do. Good question, Casey. David Goggins is hardcore, though.
Mm-hmm.
Hardcore. I like his stuff, though. He makes good points. He's a tough dude, though. Equal means you can get spoken to how you speak to me. I think people would be okay with that. Mm-hmm. I just mean straight equal. I don't mean special privileges. Equal. It is exactly the same. There is nothing where you can't say you can do it, I can't do it when it comes to doing some lifting or moving or cleaning or fixing the car or getting on the roof. Like, we're just equal.
Yeah.
What I can do, you can do. There is no difference. And that's just not it. She says, sorry, Rick, this isn't reality. I've been put down for mere existence by men.
Here's what I want to challenge you on. Not necessarily challenge, but something to think about. the men that you surround yourself with makes a big difference. I was just, your comment is exactly the way that I used to think too. Rick is really the first guy that really has shown me, he's very different than any other guy that I dated or that I was married to. And I was attracted to the same type of person. The person that I was attracted to was typically not the best kind of person for me. That comes from me having a dad that was non-existent, but also not the best guy either. So anyway, long story short, I grew up not having a great relationship with any men, nor did I really like them much because they served really no purpose, honestly, for me. Like, and that's why I have the things I have, where I have to have my job. I have to do everything myself because I've never been able to rely on a guy to do those things. Now, fast forward, the older that I am, and I'm surrounding myself with better people, and I shouldn't say better, but people that hold similar values that I do, has really opened my eyes to learn and know that there are a lot of men that are in pain. And I'm not saying, like, as women, we typically go, well, what about the women, right? There's a lot of men that are in pain, and there's a lot of things that are happening with men that are not fair. And it's heavily cited on the women's side of things. And since I've been able to see those things firsthand, it's really given me such a different outlook on the way that I see men than what I did before. So I don't know if that'll help, but I hear your comment. I think it's super valid because I used to be there too. I get it.
Also, as far as the guys that I work with, I don't have any men that would put down women just for their mere existence. Almost every one of my guys sacrifices to make their women's life better. So you may just be shopping in a shithole for guys. That's not what good men do. They don't put you down just for being alive. That's a weird thing to do to anybody.
Yeah, it depends. I see. It's not.
You're right, Jay. Yeah, she says it's not a gender war. Right. I'm sick of this men have it worse, women have it worse drama. You're not wrong. I think it's being pushed real hard on youth, and it's trickling upward because most people who are older aren't really stuck in it. But I'm watching a lot of videos for the youth who are really pushing that agenda.
Yeah.
But it's really, here's how off it is. It's so backwards. Like, I watch a guy go, all right, girls, what are girls better than men? And they go, everything, like hundreds of everything. They're better at everything. And they go, okay. After a whole bunch of everythings, they go, now who has it harder, men or women? And they're like, oh, definitely women for sure. Women for sure. Men have it way easier. Men have it way easier than men. And I'm like, hold on a second. We got two questions here. Who's better at everything? They're like, women are better at everything. And they're like, well, who has it easier? Men have it easier. How can you be worse at everything than somebody else and have it way easier?
Yeah. And I agree with you. There's a lot of pinning against each other. One's worse, one's better, it's nonsense. People are people, right? There's really bad on both sides and there's really great on both sides. It's being able to find who those people are that are going to be great for you. But I'm right there with you. I agree. I tend to speak more, I guess the example that's constantly running in my mind is when it comes to, specifically when it comes to divorce and custody of children. That's usually like always top of my mind. When I say legally who has it worse, that is the fact that they do have it worse. But I hear you. Yeah.
Men putting women down, she's wrong, they're wrong too. The truth is both sides have it tough right now. We're in a big change right now where there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of bad people who are hurting both sides. What I would really caution is no different than guys these days are against bad guys. I would really challenge women to watch out for women who are using the system in a way that's going to backfire against good women too. And we got 3 girls. I'm not enjoying the way the system is going because it's eventually going to blow up in their face and my girls are going to have it hard.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good world with the way women are mistreating some of the authority that like are being given, not even taken, given is being mistreated, and it's gonna hurt our girls.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good world for them with the way it's going right now. So
Yeah.
a lot of good women are really stepping up against some of this bad women stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chris, we get to talk on Monday, bud.
Yeah. Let's see. My brother is fighting to keep his marriage, but it seems his wife doesn't take accountability.
Well, there's not much you can do with someone who doesn't want to be better.
Yeah. Rick, how did you know Andrea was the one? What did she show or do that confirmed your feelings for her?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
Like, shit, I don't
Yeah.
know.
How did I know that she was the one? For me to get to this point, I think that when people ask, does your past matter? It does matter, because the things I used to value and things I used to think were important have changed through people having transgressions against me. To give you an example, my love language has changed completely based on my last relationship was such a mess that the things that I didn't know were as important to me now have become core values to me. And one thing was I was in a dynamic with someone who never showed up. And so when I met her, she would always show up. It could be 4 hours away, she'd show up. She always shows up. And I value that because I always show up, which is why her and I now, we travel the country to go see people. We show up. We show up. And so this became something that made me very interested in her to begin with. And then as we started growing together and we were together, she's always had my back. Whether I was up or down, she's had my back. And understanding just how people are, I knew that just those traits by themselves and her being willing to sacrifice and put in for me, whether I'm on top or if I'm falling down, and she's got my back, I don't even turn my head. To find somebody who's got these traits is very rare, and I'm very blessed, and I love her, and this is my one. And so I am committed to her. This is my person, and that's it. That's where I'm staying, no matter what, and that's it. So those are two of the big things that made me go that direction. And this fucking fabulous this lipstick. Damn. Rare.
Oh my
so
gosh.
sassy and intelligent. Good questions. Are you submissive to him? And then they already assume it's yes, and why?
Why? Why?
Why would you do that? You sound like a gamma male. Do you agree? I am not a gamma male. No. That's very funny, though. That's not even close. I don't even...
What is a gamma male?
The traits that go with a gamma male, I have almost none of them. It's really funny.
No, he's more of a sigma male.
I have nothing to do with a gamma male.
As far as being submissive to him, I respect him.
Yeah, I don't think
I
that...
don't live my life to be, like, submissive. I have high respect for him. If we are having a conversation and maybe I don't agree, we talk through it, but I trust his intention always. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm submissive. He tells me, like, sit down, I'm not going to go sit down. Like, you know, I guess the way you see it, but I have high respect for him, so...
Yeah, there's different traits for, like, what I would suggest is me getting into, like, the alphas, betas, gammas, sigmas. There's a lot to go into that stuff. Do some research. Watch some videos and stuff on what it is, because it's kind of a long conversation. But it's kind of a fun rabbit hole to check out, like, what are the differences. Look up gamma male. Like, check it out. Sounds like a whale name. That's funny.
It's like grandma without the...
Gamma male. It sounds like a gamma whale. It's gamma whale.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny. But check it out. Do some research on like what the different ones are. I fall between alpha and sigma. I don't require a pack, but I do really well with my pack.
Yeah.
And I'm a pack leader. You know, Phil sees and the guys who are in the group, I'm a pack leader. And so I probably fall more under alpha, but I'm also very fine hunting alone. I do just fine by myself. I've done it for years, and so I have no problem switching between alpha and sigma at all.
Victor, why? Why are love languages toxic? What is your thought about that?
Here, click and see if this is a person trying to be helpful or just troll. Oh, it's a real person. Okay,
Victor. Yeah.
Victor Aleva.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Oh, he's self-development and a coach.
Right on.
All right.
It's weird that you'd come in with some of these opinions. I'd like to hear why love languages are toxic.
Too. Yeah.
It's an interesting judgment. I'd like to hear why.
Yeah. So, yeah. I tend to lean towards giving true love as compassion.
What is true love? Just compassion? I feel like it's going to be more complicated than just compassion.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever said, I don't have enough compassion, and then they're fighting.
True love is compassion.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Victor, I'd actually would be very okay with just having a conversation with you sometime.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
Alpha is not getting a good reputation lately, though.
It's true. Well, it's because there's bad versions of everybody. And so a true alpha is a real leader, but sometimes people are acting like they have to be hyper aggressive or they have to be like putting people down. Real alphas build people up. Real alphas are the kind of men that make it so other people get better being around them. Alphas are true leaders, not this stuff where you have to be the loudest guy in the gym, because people aren't trying to follow that guy. But a real alpha and real men, they protect and they nurture and they build and they support and they inspire. That's a different thing altogether than some of these hard flex, be a badass, and then, try and be the toughest, meanest guy in the room. It's not the same.
Yeah.
And so a real alpha is a person who inspires others to be better, and people love to be around that kind of person, not a person who screams at the gym and drops their weights the loudest.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, there's some bad rap stuff going on with what alpha is, but people these days are all giving, they're trying to give a lot of judgments and classifications and labels on things, and that makes it pretty toxic. Some things aren't what people are calling them. We see people misdiagnose people almost every day. They just WebMD some stuff and everyone's a narcissist.
Right.
It's just not accurate. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What time is it about? 10:30? Okay.
Yeah. Victor, it looks like he said, I am testing pure love. I don't know.
Honestly, Victor, I'd be interested to just have a conversation with you. If you want, you can just go on our links and book a call. I'll take a call with you. It'd be cool just to hang out and see some of your opinions, because I am well aware if you're good at what you do, this is really difficult to be able to type in there.
Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, so the reality is we respect you, but testing your beliefs is essential.
I honestly very open to it. I would like to just talk.
I think it would be great.
It'd be cool to know you.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear your opinion, your thoughts, seeing what are your beliefs. You test my beliefs. I am very clear on what mine are, but it'd be great to learn and grow from each other. I don't find anybody who does what we do as competition or anything.
No,
it would be
I agree.
We're all trying to help people out. I'd like to see how far have you come along. I haven't had anybody who works in my industry who hasn't been like, okay, you know your shit. And I've talked to guys who have 40 years, psychologists and everything. They're like, okay, you know your shit.
Rick is a challenger by nature, but not challenger to blame, judge, or disrespect someone. Mm-hmm. But he is the guy that knows a fucking lot.
I know a fucking lot.
Because he spends and outworks so many people. Even he was talking to a psychologist that's been around, how old is he? 80?
He's in his 80s, yeah. He's been writing books. He's written 6 psychology
writing books and stuff like that, and that's why he's created his map, which we've talked about a while. And he's like, I've been doing this for years, and how come
His compliment to me was, because he's one of the guys I read a lot of his books, and I was talking to Dr. Jones on it, and he was, I was like, listen, I'm just trying to keep up with you, and he's like, with your level right now, he's like, you're not 20, 30 years behind me. I'd be very happy if it was 18 months behind me. Like, there's a lot of really high compliments I get from very high-level people in this industry. And so it's one of those things where I'd be very happy to have a conversation with you. Like, it's good to see where are you at and how can we grow from each other. It's actually really fun to have those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't take anything as a threat. Challenge my beliefs. I think it's a great idea.
He really doesn't.
I don't mind.
Yeah. Andrew, you said once you cannot handle when Rick is crying for too long. You lose respect. Could you explain, please? Yes.
Good question.
Yeah, and by no means is this fair, right? But I see Rick as a very strong guy. Have I seen him cry before? Yes. Did it make me lose respect for him? Absolutely not. It didn't. The reason that he was crying, though, was because we had a couple heavy losses in our family. I don't look at him any different because of that. The reason I say if he starts crying, let me give you an example. Let's say his tire goes flat on his car, okay? And he comes in and he's having a breakdown because he's so frustrated because his tire went flat. That's not attractive to me. I'm a natural fixer, and I know some women aren't. I'm a natural fixer. So for me, I would be like, why are we crying about it? Let's try to fix it. Like, what can we do to fix it? That's where I'm at with stuff like that. Like, if we're breaking down consistently about things that we can logically fix, I don't feel safe with that at all. I don't feel safe with it. So I'm like, I need a guy that's going to come in and be like, listen, you know what? I got a flat tire. I'm going to fix it. Got it. Do you need me to call somebody? Do you need me to go grab the jack? Do you need me to find you a spare tire? Like, whatever it is, I'll do that. But I can't have us breaking down when we have a flat tire. I need him to be strong. I also wouldn't break down for a flat tire unless it was super dark outside and was on the side of the road. Then I probably wouldn't. I would just be freaked out. So that's what I meant by that.
Do you know how to change a tire?
No. No.
You're funny. Yeah, anytime I've ever cried around her, like, I'm not saying I don't cry, but it really does fall under what my guys are saying. It's going to be falling more under, like, single stoic tear. Like, yeah. She caught me one time ugly crying, but it was because something that I loved more than anything in this world just died in my hands.
Yeah,
and
it was awful.
And that one was a heavy, heavy loss.
Yeah.
So.
And that didn't, clearly, I mean, I wouldn't look at him different. Like, that's a heavy loss. A flat tire is not. Mm-hmm. Let's not, yeah.
I see you, Omar.
Hopefully
yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, we saw some of that fall apart on Facebook, but I feel it's rough for both of you guys. That was a tough situation to watch. So you're in our prayers, and I hope things go well for you, and I hope things go well for Linda, man. So sorry it went that way, Omar. It was pretty rough to watch. So you guys had some brutal stuff with the trucks and all the stuff going on. So hope the best for you, man. I really, honestly, truly do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil says again, deaths only.
It's not death. Well, maybe it is. I don't even know if it's deaths only. Like, we've been through a lot together, you know, as far as, like, just the whole business stuff and things like that. And he's never cried. I've seen him frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
But
Snorlax, that's not what he said. When his dog was over 10 years, he died inside.
I'm telling you, these dogs.
Yeah.
These dogs will get you. They all get you. That is faux show. Mm-hmm. Rick is very passionate. Keeps him forwards in measures of peers. Yeah.
No, Snorlax sees it. He gets it.
Women who can't take accountability, that's what I dealt with, but constantly told I was a problem. And sometimes we are.
Yeah, well.
Sometimes we are. I think that in a relationship, it's always both sides. You know, I was married, got divorced after 12 years, and I could easily say these are all the things that he did, but guess what? I'm accountable too.
TC.
My ugly cry, and his beard comes breaks.
TC, don't even talk.
Oh
don't even put that. Don't even put that in the universe.
Oh my God. You're already. He's been brushing the heck out of it tonight.
It's so soft. I put this softener in it today. Listen, it's crazy.
Listen.
It feels nice.
This is what's going to happen.
Feel this
He's going to go to.
Will you feel this thing? It's lovely today.
It is lovely. It's so. It also looks fluffy.
Yeah, it's softener.
This is what's going to happen. I'm going to call it right now. He's going to go to upload this video and put it on YouTube like he always does, and he's going to hear the scratching noise in the background from this beard comb, and he's going to be irritated. And then he's going to cry.
I'll never do it again. I'll just cry by myself, and she'll come in and she'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I was just looking at old pictures of loved ones that passed away. So we're good." But really, it was the beard comb and the scratching.
Yeah. We can get you a new one. They sell them.
TC, you're funny.
That was good. That was good.
You're funny. You're funny.
Yeah.
Got me. Let's see.
Oh, that's a good one. And Rick, is it necessary to see her cry because of bonding?
I don't think it's necessary or bonding. I don't see, truthfully, I really don't see a maximum amount of value in problem solving for crying. I understand the outlet. I understand the emotion. I understand all of the logic and the things that are behind it. So I don't shame her for it, but I don't see it as a value. I don't personally go oh, we're crying, so that means we're thinking more clearly about things.
He doesn't like it.
I just don't think that it's valuable.
He doesn't like it.
If I'm not allowed to cry, what makes your tears so much more valuable? Why is it bonding if you cry, but it's shunned if I cry? Just saying.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say he doesn't like it. He does not like it.
I don't think, like I said, it's not valuable. And a lot of times, like she says, don't cry over flat tires. A lot of times she's crying over stuff that's less than a flat tire.
It's usually because you're making me mad.
Okay, then we communicate.
I don't cry that much.
Baby, you cry a lot.
No, I don't.
Baby, how many times?
Why do you
make
me so upset?
It doesn't have anything to do with me.
I haven't cried at all lately.
Really?
No. When?
You're crying with Julian. You were crying.
Oh, I
over,
cry.
You cry with all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I was only counting when you make me cry.
Oh no. Well,
that is really the only time you don't like it.
Babe, you cry all the time with stuff. I'm just saying.
I did. I actually cried last night, and we had someone coming over to do lighting stuff, and it was a mess.
Yeah, you were crying yesterday when John was doing his funeral thing. Like, you cry all the time.
I do cry.
Yeah, so you say I never cry.
No, I do.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I cry a lot. Yeah. Yeah, women are more emotional creatures. Yeah. In the past month, how many cries? Listen, him working with these men, I'm telling you, and I'm not involved in this coaching program, right?
TC, how many times a day do you cry?
35. Oh.
Only 3, but those are all legit.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I cry more now since he's been doing the men's coaching program because he takes it out on me. I'm just kidding. The reason is, everybody, that was a joke. Because sometimes I overhear things or stories or conversations that are just so heartbreaking. It literally will have me in tears.
They're brutal.
Like, it's so painful, and it'll have me crying. I can't, and I don't have he's so good about taking information in and letting it go, and sometimes it'll bother me for a couple days, so I have to be careful of the information I take in sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, ones cry only in safe spaces.
That's not true. I mean, maybe your authentic go through your feelings cry, but
I don't care if I'm safe or not. I'll cry when I want.
You cry everywhere.
It's my party.
Yeah. I
so
try.
Rick
I
is a
try.
safe space.
I
He
try to
is.
be your safe space.
That being him, honestly, this was a huge game changer in our dynamic and relationship. Is him saying to me, "I understand. I need to be a safe place for you,"
Mm-hmm.
and that for some reason just clicked for me. Because it wasn't always that at the beginning, and so knowing that, and not only him saying that, but the actions that were coming with that, like I could see the effort that he would put in to make sure that my girls and I felt safe around him. It was the best thing that could have happened to our relationship, honestly.
No, I love your well wishes. I'm saying that women are more allowed to be more emotional creatures. I don't mind when men cries. So I wish that they could cry more and feel more comfortable. I'm with you. I also wish that it wasn't a negative for guys to cry. Right now, I guess we're just not at that point yet as a society, or just how men and women are working through hypergamy, that guys can be that open without being judged or rejected or shamed.
With women, though, or in general?
She says, I don't mind when men cries.
Oh, okay, with her. Okay, got it.
You know, I wish they could cry more and feel more comfortable. So I'm assuming she's talking about men. She wishes guys could be more comfortable to cry. In which case, I wish that too. It's our guys, they cry all the time together because we really are a safe place. We don't blame, shame, or judge. It is what we are going through is authentically difficult stuff. And it's okay to be a human being in our groups. There's never been anybody who's ever said anything bad about another man for going through a difficult battle.
No.
Ever. But it's hard for guys to do that with women because they'll do the same exact thing they do with us there. And then they'll be like, yeah, she's friend zoned me. We sleep in different bedrooms now. She's not talking to me anymore. She doesn't sleep with me. Like everything's just, our relationship just died. And I thought I was doing the right thing. I talk to a guy at least every week who's gone through this. I wish it wasn't true, but it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
And this is where, I mean, maybe you can talk to some ladies to stop doing this to guys, because that's what these guys are running into, and it's a sad story. I really wish it wasn't true.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Glad that you're here with us. I'm glad that it's helping. Yeah. And if you ever want to schedule a call, Kyle, with Rick, the link's at the top. You can book a call too if you just want to talk some things out. That's actually for everybody. The link's at the top. I saw a video today when men were saying, when I have a problem, I don't reach out to anyone. It makes me sad.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. Who can they reach out to?
It's a very lonely place.
This is why I had to build the place.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't also have any place like this. Like, there was nowhere to go.
This is also the reason why that men's suicide rates are growing year after year. And they're growing for women, too. They're growing for adolescents as well. Mm-hmm. There has to be a safe place for people to go, whether men or women, everybody. So
you know what us guys call it? We don't call it safe place. We don't call it that.
Right.
We just say, here's where we can take your armor off. That's what us men call it. We wear our armor all day to stop feeling pain. We get hurt, rejected, shut down, told to be a man, cowboy up, stop being a sissy, deal with your problems, handle your business. We're not taught to be open and authentic and caring and nurturing. We're not taught those things. We're taught to shut up and fix it. And so who are we supposed to open up to? Who are we supposed to be vulnerable with whenever we're vulnerable and then we get broken up with or friend zoned, or, you know, we lose our relationship, or we get made fun of or told that we're sissies? Like, when we get blamed, shamed, and judged, we have to create this armor to protect ourselves. What we've done with the Warrior's Way is create a place for our men to be able to show up and take their armor off and just reveal their scars and not get shamed for it.
I don't know if you guys have seen this video yet. I posted it last night, or maybe this morning. I think I did both because TikTok was being weird. But I posted up a video. If you have not watched it, please go watch it. And I think because your face wasn't on the very front, people would just skimmed past it. But last night, this is the second time this has happened, and it is the most beautiful, the thing that was making me cry last night, where these men that are in his group, they have a funeral for their marriage. And
not just their marriage.
Go ahead.
So what we've been doing is having a Viking funeral. This is where the guys go through the symbolism to be able to go through the person that they married. And a lot of times these women are just treating these men horribly, been cheating on them for years, taking all of their money, destroyed their dignity, like just being terrible to good guys. And there are women out there who are ruining it for good women. They are using the system to destroy these guys. And these are good guys, good dads. They show up for everything. Most of these guys are taking care of their kids while I'm talking to them. They're good dads. They love being dads. They're proud of it, and just being cheated on, treated like crap, and everything. And when I hear about what these women are doing, I'm like, was this the woman that you married? Like, what is this? And they're like, she's doing none of the things of the person that I married. And so our guys, we have a funeral where the guys do their farewells. They say goodbye because the woman that they married is no longer with us anymore. She is gone. She doesn't exist anymore. And so they say goodbye to the person they fell in love with, because whoever this person is walking around in their skin is doing pure evil. And it is not the same person. These are the women who use kids as weapons and they just try to hurt these guys with love. Like, it's the meanest thing that I've ever seen. And so our guys are taking the wedding rings that they committed their life to one person. Well, the person they committed their life to is no longer with us anymore. That person has passed away. They are gone. And so this is them saying goodbye to the person that they fell in love with, because they're not with us anymore. There's a new person who does the business arrangements for the children that looks like that person, but it is not the same person. And so we've had guys throw their wedding rings in lakes. We've had guys who put it in fires. It's pretty powerful. It's a pretty powerful symbol of letting go and having the courage to accept the loss and then be able to move forward. And there's a lot of support. We have dozens of guys that show up for each one of these guys. It's very courageous. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
So we had one last night even.
Yeah. And he took the time to write out what he was going to say. It was so heartbreaking. It was so heartbreaking, but I think also, hopefully, can start the healing process to now move forward. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything like it. I was a mess.
Very powerful.
I hope it melted.
Just kidding. She's got a good heart. Got a good heart. You do have a...
He'll pull that out of you, don't worry.
There's no shortage of things to talk about, brother. I promise you.
Yep.
You ready to get some sleep, baby?
Are you?
Yes, I am.
You done brushing that beard, though?
No, still got so much more to go.
We think you're wonderful. Thank you for being here with us.
We appreciate you. Love you back. Appreciate you for being one of us. Let's get some sleep. I think you guys need some sleep. We got to get up early anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hold on to that.
You got it, baby. That's how much I love you.
You trust me with your beard comb.
Trust you with my beard brush. All right, guys.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for being here. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah.
Juan 2.0, Wes, Snorlax, Chris, Phil, Amy, all of you guys. Thank you guys for being here with us. We appreciate you.
Thanks for sharing the live, you guys.
Thank you. Pete, Piazza, is that right? Pizza? I can't see it from here.
Weird.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for being a part of us. TC, it's good to see you again. Nell, thank you so much for interacting. JP.
Yeah, good to see you.
It's just good to see you guys. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being our people. Any case, get some rest, love each other, be kind, forgive each other, do all the things, and we'll see you guys very soon. I don't know if it's tomorrow, probably, I don't know. We'll jump on after one of our groups. we'll see what day it is.
Impromptu.
So, usually 8 o'clock is when I'm done with my classes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
we'll see you guys around the same time.
Same time,
some
same
of these days.
Boy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, you guys. Have a good weekend.
No, I just